So let's take all we have learned and apply it to starting a business. We apply it to every aspect of business as much as we can. So starting a business. Write this down and never forget it. That the resources of the kingdom of God are motion sensitive. The resources of the kingdom of God are motion sensitive. They are like those doors in big buildings. They are programmed to stay shut until they sense you coming. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The minute they sense you coming, they will open. But if you look at them from afar, they will stay shut. And you will think, God, how will I ever open this big door? I'm not strong enough. But they are programmed to open when they sense motion. Do you hear what I'm saying? Right? So let's examine Moses. When God sent the people of Israel out of Egypt, he knew that the Red Sea was there. Right? But he still sent them out. If the people contemplated the Red Sea, they wouldn't have come out. That's how it is. Red Sea. And they knew. If any of them thought about it while they were in it, said, Moses, wow. This direction we are going, I think you know that there's water there. When you get to the water, what's your plan? That's how many of us relate to God. This thing cannot work. When you get to the water, what's your plan? And God said, I'm God now. Calm down. They say, no, I'm not going to start it. Analysis paralysis. I'm not going to start it because no, God says, just follow the hearing and go. Right? So Moses got to the Red Sea. And God said, stretch out your hand. And he stretched out his hand. And the Red Sea parted. Right? Now, after they crossed over to the Red Sea, they would have looked back and said to themselves, what if we didn't leave Egypt because of this obstacle? And many of you have been in places where you just thought, 2 years ago, what if I didn't start? Now, Joshua's story was now different. He was going to cross Jordan. He said, tell the priest who carried the ark of the covenant, when you reach the edge of the water, go and stand inside. You're not stretching anything. Now, Joshua is like, well, you know, when God tells you something, you turn into doctrine for him. It's bad. It's bad. So because Moses stretches and Joshua now reach Jordan and stretches. What's you ready? How can you not ready to cross this thing? He said you will enter. He said tell the priest they will what? Enter. That the water will part when their feet touch it. Can you imagine how powerful that is? And that's the resources of God. They are what? Motion sensitive. So don't stop. Once you hear the voice of God, move. Don't be afraid. The Lord is your shelter. The Lord is your help. A very present help in time of need. Right? So you can see, and I love this picture. As the priest entered, water started to part. He said, put your leg inside. He said, and as soon, immediately the priest who carried the ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, the waters flowing downstream will be cut off and stand still in the heat. And that thing turns to an aquarium experience for all of you. You start seeing all these massive creations of God underwater. Have you ever imagined what crossing the Red Sea would have been like?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been beautiful. The children would have been excited.
See.
The outer world.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's of God. It's funny that generation could not enter into the promised land because they're so slow. But none of us are like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen God move so much. Right? So starting a business, you heard the voice of God, that's what? Equity. It's a balance sheet item. Start. It's a balance sheet item. Start. Don't start thinking. Romans said, do not say within your heart, who will ascend into heaven to bring Jesus from above, who will descend into the deep to bring him from beneath. He said, what does it say? He said, the word, that is the equity of God is with us. For with the heart, we will believe unto alignment, with the mouth, confession will be made to salvation. Right? Now, negotiation in the school of faith, I love this one. They called David, they said, David got them. David asked the men, wait. I'll kill him. You know, she problem. But before I kill him, he said, what will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes disgrace? He helped them quantify the problem well, so that it's billing, nobody will. nobody will question his bill. You have to know how to bill. Some of you are busy and broke. Because understanding of billing you don't have. But you're busy and you're broke. So David said, this is your problem, right? He now said, what will be done to the man who removes this, his disgrace? He now answered him, the king did his daughter, blah, blah, blah. You must never be afraid of billing your clients appropriately. You must always also know exactly when to send an invoice. Sometimes it's not the first meeting you send an invoice. There's a time when, especially as an SME, there's a time when you send an invoice that's just like, shit. They'll collect the invoice, thank you. They'll pay. You must know this understanding. Good understanding procures favor, right? So if you have an understanding, your invoice will be favored, So sometimes you must know. People are afraid to bill. Even me, I was. Zero. I it's consulting with you, so zero. But you have to understand the value that you and God carry. Let it clear your low self-esteem. And be. David was clear on the reward before he stepped out to do anything. This is what will you do? Say, that was not his motivation.
Yes.
Again, it must not be your motivation. But the Bible says that his divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through the knowledge of him that called us for his own glory and goodness. Which means that God's power has given you everything you need. If you are broke, it's not God's fault, it's your fault. Because let God be true, let every man be a liar. Which means it's not as if you are not working. Sometimes you are doing a lot, but you are not monetizing properly. And you are casting pearl before swine. That's not on God. That's not on God. So, knowing how to package your wisdom, traffic your wisdom, and merchandise your wisdom. Those are three different things. So the Bible says that wisdom is blah, blah, blah. It now says for the merchandise of it. Have you ever seen it? It said the merchandise of it. That's the dealing. That word merchandise in the Hebrew is the commercial value of it. It's greater than. Do you see what I'm saying? So it says commercial value, which means you can invoice for it. You can invoice for wisdom. It's not a thank you. No. If you do it, even an NGO. If someone tells you, sorry Baba, you say, no, keep your money. I'll send you an invoice. They will adjust. They won't try it again. You send an invoice, Tolani and Daughters Incorporated. VAT, WHT. Tolani is not playing with this too. Maybe it's just small cake that she used to do when she was small. I was there when she started. When then? And then when you need to. Some of you have never used an invoice before, and you want to blow and prosperous. Come on. Go and develop an invoice. One of the first things I learned was invoice templates. Quotation, invoice, receipts. Pay this money. Pay now. Thank you for paying. Very important, right? All right. Jethro was a master of systems. Fantastic guy. So Moses was full of passion. Right? Full of passion. Left his wife and children at home. Came into the field. Jethro brought his wife and children with him. I like to buy me everywhere. Brought his wife and children. I said, you can still do it. I now watched him for one day. He said, this is why now. Yes, look at it. He said, listen now to me and I will give you some advice. And may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them his decrees and instructions. Show them the way they are to live. So what Moses was doing was he was judging between them. Morning to night. Every day, morning to night. Playing with high blood pressure. Moses would, maybe because his natural forces were not at it.
Right, yeah.
He had energy. Jethro said, oh God. He now said, but select, listen to this, and I'll show you. I want to go into a spin-off from here. He said, but select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands hundreds, 50s, and 10s. Do you see system? Paul said to Timothy the same thing. He said, commit to faithful men who will be able. Do you see the pattern? Faithfulness will always come before ability. The biggest criteria must be faithfulness above ability. Because faithful men who are consistent will always become able. Able men might never be faithful. Might never be loyal. Do you hear what I'm saying? So there was a pattern. He said, commit to men. What was Jethro saying? He said, in order to scale, you have to build a system that accommodates the growth of others. I have a case study. I like this man. Pastor Chris Ayakilema. Because what he has built on the earth is unprecedented. So let's look at this different. You cannot successfully improve your circumstances without improving the circumstances of those around you. Adam Smith said this. You cannot continuously grow. I know Adam Smith wrote the book The Wealth of Nations, which is one of the first economic books that we all read. You cannot continuously grow without deliberately building a system to ensure those around you grow also. I asked you that. I almost skipped that. But to grow efforts. Because I want to see everybody around me grow. Right? People will stay with you as long as there's headroom for them to grow within your vision. If you shut down growth opportunities, they inevitably leave. No matter how much they love you, they will what? Leave. Your soul, remember I said you prosper as your soul prospers. Now this is a place where even though people have capacity, their souls do not allow them to prosper because of insecurity. Oh, he's going to steal my idea. Oh, he's going to steal my church members. Oh, he's going to steal this. Oh, if I allow him grow, he will. If I allow him grow, he will be a Lord unto himself. If we train them, they will go. Look, better the earlier they go, the better. Because if you train people and they go, they are an extension of your dominion. They are an extension of your dominion. That's why it says kingdom, king's domain. Right? Because there's a time to be together. You see, but if you also grow, it doesn't even mean you are going apart.
No.
It just means that we're scaling. Let me show you. In 2008, Pastor Chris Ayakilema pioneered the first 24-hour Christian satellite station, broadcasting from Africa worldwide. This gave rise to other UK stations in Nigeria, South Africa, and the UK. Millions of people have been touched by the powerful message of salvation through the far-reaching audience friendly television ministry of Pastor Chris Love World. Cable is now broadcasting across the United States. So they now have a satellite, right? Which requires 24-hour content. Pastor Chris cannot create 24-hour content. So he told all these people, you can create content. You can preach. Oh yeah, preach. Sinach, you can sing, yeah? Sing. Moses Bliss, you can sing. Eben, you guys can sing. Across the United States, terrestrial TV, they have been playing all their songs. All the Moses Bliss, Jesus, Miracle, No Dey Tire Jesus. If these boys enter other countries, they shut places down in crowds. Benny Hinn comes and says, Sinach, finally, nice to meet you. And she's looking at Benny Hinn and like, is this not Benny? He has been watching you on TV because someone built a platform that allowed your gift to have expression. Right? The man has created a platform that anything that comes out of him must blow. Especially outside the country, not even here. South Africa, because they don't have enough content to fill 24 hours. They are just looking, come now, bring it now. Bring it now. Eben, Jadel, all of them. When you hear they are quiet, don't think you're not hearing. Because the law is that the rule of life is that you can't talk while you're eating. When people are quiet, it's not because they're hungry. If they're hungry, people are shouting. Quiet people are eating. Say, thou shalt not muzzle an ox while the threads come. If he's threading the corn, remove the muzzle, let him eat. This is the law. So I just noticed, I looked at it one day, our pastors don't live to start their own church in this guy's church. Why? people will stay with you as long as there's headroom for their personal growth within your system. Finding the right people, let me explain this using factors of production, and I want you to listen carefully. There are 4 factors of production, but I'll use these major 3 because they're important. Land, labor, and capital. Right? Okay, let's go to it. Land is raw materials or raw talent uncut. The reward for land is rent. Unprocessed skill. Unprocessed. The reward for land is what? Is what?
Rent.
Rent. When people bring rent into your life or land into your life, pay them only rent. This is how you manage your people. Are you listening to me? Some people will bring only land into your life. Don't get carried away. You pay them what?
Rent.
Rent. Labor is effort. The reward for labor is wages, like you pay laborers, regular. When people bring labor into your life, you pay them what? Wages. You have to know how to match. Capital is what? The value that someone has created from the day they were born till now. Does that make sense? The value someone has created from the day they were born till now. When people bring, the reward for capital is what? Profit. When people bring capital into your life, do not pay them wages, or they will go. When people bring capital into your life, you pay them, cut them in. Entrepreneurs don't understand this. But those that make it understand it. Tayo Aderoku, Fola Adiola, Ige Mokwede, Herbert Wigwe, Dangote, Mr. Joseph, who died recently at 70 something. Before he died, he was collecting 400 million a year. Is that an employee's salary? Because Aliko saw him and said, wow, this guy is bringing capital into my business. He will give me free my time to do other things. Mr. Makoju, Mr. Joseph Makoju, and he cut him in. Fola did the same. So this person is to be cut in. See, if you try to pay people who bring capital wages, anything you do not appreciate is already on its way out of your life. You hear what I'm saying? Anything you do not appreciate is what? It's already, it's not even a cost. It's not something you can start or stop. Remember I said these are exact laws you cannot fight. Anything you don't, or anyone you do not appreciate is already on their way out of your life. You just don't know. One day you will try to access them and you won't. They will outgrow you. Right? So problems set in when there is a mismatch. People often try to pay wages to people who are bringing capital into their life. So someone comes and his connections are opening doors for you. Right? You say he's just an employee. They're not serious. Finding your people. Jesus redefined the family. You need to, and this is a big lesson, especially for SMEs. Let me read it. Someone told him, your mother and your brothers are standing outside, wanting to speak with you. Jesus replied them and said, who is my mother and who are my brothers? He pointed to his disciples. He said, here are my mothers and my brothers. You know, God sees us in families. In the book of Amos, he said, and when God started me on my wealth journey, that's the first thing he showed me in the book of Amos. He said, out of the families of the earth, you have I known. Right? But he doesn't see us in biological families. He sees us in what? You know why he can't afford to see us in biological families alone? Because what will happen to the solitary? So he said he causes the solitary to be put within families, right? So he sees us in families. And wealth. Listen, wealth is not created. The idea of wealth creation is a lie. Wealth is inherited. Passed through family members. I'm lowering my voice now because I'm telling you secrets. Secrets. It's gossip. It's not gossip, sorry, it's secrets. Wealth is passed through family members, but not necessarily biological family members. That's why I said it will cause the poor. You saw that word there? Inherit. Real wealth is what? Inherited. But some of you have stolen your family members. Because you're like, is it Mary Jane that's feeding me? She should get out. just because you are angry over something. That's why anger. I can't understand when you're angry and you go extreme. So the day you said no, I have siblings, quite a number. That's why I'm doing alright. Because I have plenty of siblings. And I don't need biological siblings. One day, we were about to start something that made us a lot of money, and my siblings were fighting. I said, like, these people are not serious. I said, we go and beg him. He will go and beg her. I said, this is not well. I became the voice of peace. They didn't understand. By the time we finished, we made more money. I said, because when you allow, the devil sets offense in, and offense comes with poverty. Do you understand? So on your journey through life, God sends you siblings. These siblings are the source of your wealth. Jesus said this, these are them. So I had someone I used to work for. Juliet used to work. His brethren, his biological siblings wrecked his business.
No.
Because he couldn't get past. It's my brother, it's my brother, it's my brother. They wrecked his business. You say, no, it's my brother. It's my brother. No, that's not it. Your biological siblings can become your lifelong siblings, like in my case with Keke, right? But it's not because we are biological siblings. He knows now, Keke knows. It's because we're in the same neighborhood, going the same place, in the same direction. Our minds function together. We have other siblings that are not this close. So you have to understand, God, now when you say you're looking for people, anytime people tell me I'm looking for people, I say, no, you have squandered people. God is not wicked. He has given you people in your life journey, you stone them. Retrace your steps. Imagine what would have happened to GTB if Fola and Tayo did not come together. They saw each other as, this is not an employee, this guy. Herbert and Ike. Okay, let me go first. When I go, you become empty. And that's how all of them ran it. Fola, then Tayo. Ike, then Herbert. Know what they did? That means they gave those organizations 20 years of consistent leadership. Because they agreed. So can two work together except that they agreed. So your wealth is tied to your siblings. And if you exercise meekness, and we'll talk again next time about meekness, you will find out that your wealth is hidden in your meekness. And the way, remember I said you prosper as your soul prospers? So when you're about to enter into that prosperity, offense will come between you and your siblings. You have to have wisdom to navigate the offense and say, we cannot fight. We cannot fight. Sorry. I'm telling you. Sorry, we can't fight. Sorry. We cannot fight.
I'm holding my money.
You're holding my money. The person will just laugh. We cannot fight. Sorry. Who is wrong? I'm wrong. I'm stupid. Can't you see me? I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not joking. Because part of surrendering yourself to God's agenda and having clean hands and a pure heart, having a pure heart, is to be able to let go of those things for the agenda of God.
Yes, sir.
That's part of having a pure heart. You let it go. Remember, you prosper as your soul prospers. How you manage relationships. Those key relationships come. So they wanted to come and confuse Jesus here now. He said, your mother did things. I was like, Jesus, you don't have to be like this now. They just said your real mother. He said, no, let me address this thing for you people here. So you are looking for people in your business. Scan through your life. God has sent me. Right? Let me buttress it. I will read this thing out to you because it blew my mind. Just, there's, in hermeneutics, which is Bible interpretation, there's a law of double reference. Where if you find something and whether it's instinct or not, you don't accept it fully until another part of the Bible corroborates it, right? So there's a law of types and shadows and there's a law of double reference. So as a double reference to that, to what Jesus said, read this, please listen carefully. Listen carefully. Now the background to this story was that Absalom had stressed David. Stressed him! And the men of war went and fought against Absalom and killed him. Joab was David's soldier. The one would kill anybody. It was still Joab that killed Adonijah. Yeah. Joab would kill anybody. Now, David started trembling when he came back. He saw the soldiers coming, victorious. Soldiers were coming victorious. And he asked them, he said, is the young man Absalom alive? And they said, the young man is dead. And then he started crying. And the whole celebration turned to mourning. Everybody just calmed down. So David started trembling. Then he went up to his room above the city gate to cry. And he went to see keeping his room above the city gate. Why you change? They change. And he kept saying, my son, Absalom, my son, my son, Absalom. I wish I could die instead of you. Absalom, my son, my son. David's army found out that he was crying because of his son. His son had died. And their day of victory suddenly turned into a day of sadness. Joab went to the house of David where David was staying and told him, you've made your soldiers ashamed. First of all, as a leader, if you don't keep men like this, that's why I said security is the only way to go. You have to be secure. You have to keep men like this around and say, oh my gosh, Kabe is a map in the box. That's bad behavior. And you won't shout at them and say, do you know you're talking to the king? And when you shout at them, do you know you're talking to them? Hello, king stupid. And you guys will laugh over it. You have to keep men like that around, or else you will never be grounded. So Joab went to him and said, not only did they save your life, listen, no, but they also saved your sons and your daughters and your wives as well. You are more loyal to your enemies than to your friends. So he addressed his biological family as enemies. He said, what you've done today has shown your officers and your soldiers that they don't mean a thing to you. You would be happy if Absalom was alive, and even if the rest of us were lost, were dead. Now get up! Go out there and thank them for what they did. If you don't, I swear by the Lord that you won't even have one man left on your side tomorrow morning. This is, we'll talk about it one day, the way leaders constitute their cabinets. If you want to go far, we'll talk about leadership. There's a lot of things that are thinking about leadership. It's not soft skill. Leadership is a hard skill. You know when they say soft skills, I don't understand. It's a hard skill. You constitute your cabinet with men that can look you in the eye. I say, because you're a man, eventually in the end, you're just privileged to be the arrowhead. So he said, get up now, go to them. If you don't, I swear with my shoe. At the end of this day, you will not have one man standing beside you. Jesus spoke about a friend that sticks closer than a brother. God sends everyone such a friend. But some people chase them away to bad behavior or arrogance. So it doesn't know I'm growing. It doesn't talk to me well. Why? Remember, a pure heart requires humility. So and this is HR. This is HR, Bible HR. Yes. This is Bible HR I'm showing you. That God is going to send you men. That's my people. I'm the best at. That's my talent. If you ask any of them, the average, this one is 15 years. That one is 10 years. No, 7 years. That's what we do. Where are you going that you cannot grow here? Well, you know what we're doing juju to keep you. But we just love them. We just love them. Do you understand what I'm saying? We love them enough, and we love them enough to know them and recognize the role. Now, the role they're playing, and we don't take it for granted. Never. In fact, we affirm it regularly. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how you treat people. And that's how, when we say you will prosper the way you treat people, that's how it is. So when you see us in Nassau Rock tomorrow, and we say this is the chief of staff, and you're shouting, there's nothing you can do. Now, finance. Systems intelligence for finance. You save for opportunities, you do not save for a rainy day. It's sad that they told us when we were growing up that you save for a rainy day. It's a lie. You save for what? Opportunities. Opportunities. Never acquire your dream assets at a premium price. Hold your money, invest your money and wait. the cycle of the world will bring those assets to a ridiculous price and then you acquire at a discount, right? And that's what happened here. So it's in the cycle of the world, opportunities always come to acquire your dream assets for a fraction of the cost. At such times, the person who is liquid is king. So one guy wanted to buy a house in Banana Island, it goes for about 1 billion. He had this 100 million in liquidity or so, recession struck. And everybody was relocating, leaving the country. The guy just needed cash, so he came to me and said, I want to sell a house in Banana. He said, I don't have banana house money. The money I have is, at best, kate money. He said, no, anything you have. He said, so how much are you selling? He said, okay, I can do 500 million. He said, it's only 100 million I have. He said, that's wicked now. He said, but I didn't come to you and say I want to buy banana. I'm just telling you that that's what I have. They're the one that wants it. Me, I'm going to Kate Jeje. Guy sat down. He said, now I went away angrily, came back. Hey, I bring your name and he says, 90, that's left. I said, they wait now, I don't spend now. That's how he bought his house in Banana. Look, that's how it happens. Hold your liquidity, invest it. So let me tell you another story. God had told Rebecca, so 2 nations are fighting inside you, right? The older and the younger. He said the older will serve the younger. Right? So one was a hunter. So here was Isaac who was growing dim. Right? In his eyes, obviously. And you saw that also transfer when he was praying for sons. He was going dim. And he said to Esau, listen. He said to Esau, go and prepare me the venison that I love. Let me pray for you and transfer the blessing, right? Because the Bible says you shall receive the blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of salvation. So the blessing is something different than a blessing. Like the blessing is a transference. What was spoken on Abraham. Like the blessing I will bless you, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. So he said you shall receive the blessing from the Lord. So you know what happened? Esau went into forest. Then Rebecca said to Jacob, come, go now to the flock. Hello? To what? So every day Esau will go and hunt. He will catch male and female, kill them and eat. And his mother and his brother were keeping flock at the back. They were investing, rearing them, giving birth. You know what flock is? At least 100. They are. Yeah. May you not work. You have to have this financial intelligence. She said, go now to the flock. Rebecca and Jacob had an entire flock that they were rearing. Entire flock. When the Bible wanted to describe the shepherd, he said, has 100. So I'm using 100 as flock. He loses one, the good shepherd, and goes after that one. At least 100. Don't make flock. You must rear flock for the day of opportunity. Then Isaac now called Esau. So now, not only did she couldn't have done this thing so quickly. To turn the sheepskin into cloth for her brother, she had planned it. The woman was premeditated. She was premeditated. Now, I like this picture. That's why this picture trips me. Look at it. You know Esau was hairy. She wore. So by the time they came to Isaac held his hand. He said, the voice of Esau, but the body of Esau, but the voice of Jacob. But the food was too sweet. But this is the guy. Then he asked Jacob something. He said, how is it that you have found this so quickly? Because it was not a flock man. If you want to find things quickly, and you want to move fast in life, understand financial systems. I will teach it probably one day. But one of the laws of it is that keep a flock for the day of opportunity. Right? He said, how is it that you have found it so quickly? Because he knew it was too fast. He said, the Lord thy God brought it to me. And then of course we know the whole story. So this is finance, systems intelligence finance. And as a person, you must build systems around your finances. Right? You must have your savings quotient, your quota. You must have investment quota, operations, and systems are sustained by discipline. Once you finish. And you must also have your charity quota. Don't look, what I told you about the poor earlier is real. You don't allow the poor come and meet you and start complaining. No, their money should be ready. Their money should be what? Ready. So the portion of meat that you give men in their due season is a right. That's why when they were blessing them, they blessed Joseph. And he said, Lord, he said, because of he that is in the bush, allow the blessing rest on Joseph. Because of he that cannot fend for himself, allow the blessing rest on Joseph. Right? The more things you can do, and this is now product development, right? The more things you can do at the same time, the greater your wealth. Ambidexterity is one of the keys to wealth creation, but it copies and mirrors a particular character of God, which is omnipresence. So that wealth creation approach copies and mirrors omnipresence, but because it's man, I call it polypresence. I checked it, it's not even a word. Right? So it's like polypresence, right? So the secret of this thing is coded in time. And the ceiling limit of it, so we say 24 hours are not enough, blah, 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 24 hours, right? But it's coded in time. One of the secrets of mastering time is building a conscious system around your time. Consciously, so I said build system around your money, around your relationships, around your time. Consciously allow time to things and audit your use of time afterwards. If you are building the right systems, you will increasingly have more free time to explore new opportunities. If you don't increasingly have more free time to explore new opportunities, you're not doing something new, you're not building the right systems. So I was telling the region today, my team is allowing me to do new things because I'm building the right system. You must build the right system, things that you weren't doing before. The wealthiest people in the world, and I put some logos here, you already know, right? The wealthiest people in the world understand that acquiring wealth is a game of numbers. So they emulate a major attribute of God, which is omnipresence. The more people they can reach with their solution at the same time, the more money they are allowed to make and keep. So open your phone now. Zuck is in all our phones. That is polypresence. It's not everywhere, but it's trying. Do you understand this thing? I have Amazon Prime, Amazon. When did you me, man? Not talk about Bill Gates. You take PowerPoint from me, I don't know. So not only has he chopped my money, he has helped me make money.
Yes, sir.
You need to understand this. So ask yourself, why did Ezekiel use the word traffic when he was talking about wisdom? When he said that God said to the king, through thy wisdom and thy traffic, you have made yourself wealthy. Before internet came, he was talking about traffic. See, these prophets were deep. Isaiah said it this way. He talked about the glory of the Lord's house being lifted up above the heavens. He said, all nations stream into it. You know, Isaiah saw satellites. Isaiah saw satellites and saw streaming. He said, this is the he said, all nations of the earth will what? Stream. He used the word stream. Stream into it, which means that this online thing, we have not tapped. Omnipresence is the character of God that actually is the definition of wealth, or is the pillar of wealth. And if you want to be wealthy, then you must have polypresence.